Okay, the time is 7 o'clock and we will 6 o'clock. It's not a regular council meeting. It's 6 o'clock. And so I am calling to order the Public Works meeting for March 18th, 2025. So we will start with our land acknowledgement. In the spirit of reconciliation, the Corporation of the Township of Nipigon respectfully acknowledges it is located on the traditional lands of the Red Rock Indian Band, signatory to the Robinson Superior Treaty of 1850, and the township further respectfully acknowledges the historic presence of other signatories on these lands. There is one addendum to the agenda. It's item 7A in closed session. And there's no other addendum to the agenda.
I just want to note that we're located at the Edge Arts this evening.
Oh, okay.
There, the curling club.
Yeah, that was where we were the last time, so just to make that change. Yeah, that's okay. Are there any disclosures of pecuniary interest this evening for any council members? No. So number 3, we'll review the previous committee minutes that were previously accepted by council from February 18th, 2025. Does anybody have any, oh, sorry. I have to do the resolution to accept the, I didn't notice that. Back up. So this is just to accept the addendum to the agenda in closed session, guys, okay? So who would like to move this? Councillor Harper, and seconded by Councillor Westhaver. Be it resolved that this council accepts an addendum to the agenda to add an in-camera closed session as item 7A of the agenda. All in favor? Opposed? And carried. Okay. And I just want to note too, Councillor Hart is not here this evening. We did not receive regrets from him, but I guess he's not attending unless he's coming a little bit late. But we have quorum, so we're good to go. Okay, so sorry. Where did my agenda go? Did I lose it somewhere? There we go. Sorry. Okay, so the minutes, we don't have a resolution for that because we're just looking them over and just making sure everything's okay with them. Any issues with those minutes from the last meeting? Okay, for a Public Works old business, so we'll start with the Public Works Superintendent report for all matters of discussion. So Taylor, go ahead and you can start with the first item there.
Okay, so that's 4B 2024-1011, the garbage truck. So we didn't receive interest in a partnership opportunity regarding a new garbage packer. However, after having discussions with the fleet manager from the city of Thunder Bay, it was identified that they will have surplus used packers in the fall of 2025. I believe our current garbage packer will be sufficient until the fall. At that time, we can identify if the used packers would be a more feasible option for our garbage packer replacement. If they aren't sufficient for our needs, the purchase of a new truck would have a lead time of about 6 months.
Okay.
Yeah. Any questions?
Yeah. Do we get a price for what they might be releasing it for?
From the city?
Yeah.
No, we won't know until they post it through government deals.
Okay.
And then we probably have to put a bid on it, right?
Yes.
They don't,
it's
sort of
bidding.
the same thing as what we do with ours.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And I know we did discuss at our budget committee meeting the possibility of purchasing a new, or was that the a new garbage truck?
400 grand.
Yeah. So that was something that we might look at as well, just depending on the condition.
Both sides.
Yeah. It's always better to buy new if we can, if we're able, right? So we'll be looking at that as well. Okay, any other questions about the garbage truck from council for Taylor? Okay, Taylor, go ahead on to the
Okay,
next.
so 4C Marina Plan, the draft survey is ongoing and I will have that completed for the April 2025 Public Works Council meeting.
Okay, so that's so the survey will be done, but it won't be put out yet, right?
No.
We're gonna
Yes,
have some
it'll be
input possibly?
yeah.
Okay, and the ad hoc committee, like the I don't wanna call it a committee, but the advisory group, I guess,
Yeah.
the Marine Advisory Group, have they given you feedback on it yet?
I
or-
haven't gotten any feedback, but, I'm going to request a bit more that, they
Okay.
just go over it and provide a little bit of input there.
Okay, all right, does anyone have any questions for Taylor about that? Okay, next.
So 4D, the museum building, so I'm still acquiring quotes for the following upgrades to items which arose from the Nipigon Historical Museum audit. So the fire alarm system and security monitoring, so Baylock was approved to install the security fire water monitoring systems. I'm just waiting on a quote for some of the additional wiring to complete Baylock's portion of the work. So I did meet with a plumbing contractor about the backflow prevention devices. So he kind of described the backflow prevention options that they could provide. Ballpark cost was about $5,000 to install. However, the caveat here is that neither of the backflow prevention options would provide 100% security that they would save us from a flood.
What did they mean about that?
So I guess it's sort of like a ball that goes into the pipe itself. And then basically he said if like a little piece, like a little rock or debris
It
got
doesn't
kind of
seal in.
caught, you would still have the backup. And then similarly with the other option that,
It'd be a lot less though.
yeah,
It would
yeah.
be from that
And then,
piece.
So then the other option is the sewer actually goes, kind of runs right under all of our HVAC, so the furnaces and the hot water tanks. So, and it is a concrete floor, so they would have to chip out and try to find where that was, which could pose some significant costs as well. So, yeah, so essentially, it would still be a potential threat of having the sewage backup. There isn't really 100% guarantee with the options that they could provide. So the air conditioning upgrades, those have been ordered, just waiting for install dates. And also capping up the plumbing services, I'm just waiting on quotes still to cap those. I did get quotes to install the light fixtures that we had purchased. So you'll see there, Sercon Electric, Nipigon Red Rock Heating and Plumbing, and Bank Electric. So Nipigon Red Rock Heating and Plumbing is, because they're local, is the most cost effective. And then same, we are gonna get the humidity tracking devices. And then still looking at whether the humidifier, and the high density storage, what those are going to look like for the museum.
Does anyone have any questions about any of those? Councillor Westhaver?
Yeah, we still don't have a date. I'm not sure where Chris or Rob are at this point. I know Chris was away, but we don't have a confirmed date for the museum, but I'm just wondering, the water backup, was that an alarming system, like a fire alarm if there's water on the floor?
That's getting installed with the Baylock and security
Okay,
stuff, so that will
yeah.
still be, that's still
Okay.
getting installed.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good. That was the concern they had.
Mhm.
Okay, any other questions? Okay, next curbside collection, Highway 1117.
Okay, so letters have been sent to the commercial businesses along Highway 1117 to opt into curbside collection. To date, 4 businesses have opted in. So I recommend sending out additional letters to residents on Hogan Road and properties along First Street between 5th Street and the highway. The additional properties wouldn't negatively impact the current garbage collection route or process.
Okay,
So they're not currently on, so Miller Street and those, they're not on pickup?
No.
So with the 4 commercial businesses, that's enough to do commercial businesses on the?
Well, it would be, those ones are a bit separate because we're already having to go to the police station.
Right.
So keeping them is cost recovery at minimum. It wouldn't allow us to expand outside of that farther down towards Red Rock. But these are rather on our current route it's just expanding that to the highway to that section.
Okay, so those 4 are on the current route, so it's not like they would have to go out of the way to, okay. Okay, Councillor Westhaver?
When you said on the highway, how far on the highway? Because there's still the guardrail issue with me.
It's just along First Street to the highway, nothing on the highway.
Nothing on the highway.
Yeah.
At this point,
But
yeah.
At this
other
point.
than a couple, like Tim Hortons. and then-
The four commercial
Yes.
businesses, but
Prior
they
to the
wouldn't be
turn.
stopping on the highway, they'd go into the business and
Yes.
get them, yeah.
Okay, yeah, they're off the highway, okay.
Okay, any other questions about that one? Okay, 5A, drinking water system annual report.
Okay, so the 2024 annual and summary reports are due on February 28th, 2025 and March 31st, 2025 respectively. Both reports were submitted on February 27th, 2025 to the MOECP. The final reports, including all appendices, have been provided to the owner of the system. And so I recommend that council acknowledge receipt of the 2023 annual summary report for the Nipigon drinking water system.
Any questions on that one? 5B, operational plan revision 12.
Okay, so in 2024, several opportunities for improvement were identified through internal, external, and surveillance audits, as well as the MOECP inspection report. So in order to ensure we are going above and beyond best management practices, we've revised the endorsed operational plan revision 11 to capture almost all of the OFIs. We are required to submit our operational plan with our drinking water license renewal application. Therefore, the endorsement of the updated revision 12 will allow us to submit the revised version with our application. And this revision also includes Lars signing on behalf of the operating authority as well as myself, and then just re-signing with Suzanne.
Sorry, I just forgot that I had some notes here on the 2024 report there.
Yep.
There were just a couple of typos, I think.
Okay.
Page 19, it says, March 18th, 2024. Both of those
Okay.
dates say 2024 instead of 2025. And then it says regular council meeting. It says the Public Works Council meeting on the 18th and then the council meeting on the 18th. So I'm assuming you meant the 25th for the second date on that. On page,
For next week,
maybe you
yeah.
have to take a
Or
look.
sorry, do you mean?
This is the 2024
Oh,
one,
yes.
right? That we're looking at? Okay.
Yep.
Where's page 19? It's probably easier if I show it to you.
Yeah.
Okay, so
What the
the
heck?
2024 annual summary is scheduled to be present at 2025 and then
Yes.
report on the 25th, 2025.
Yes.
If you
I
wanna
will
change
update
those? Yeah.
Yep.
Just because you never know.
Yeah, no,
You
no,
never
that's
know.
good.
what is-
I went to
Um,
this. Just
No,
scroll
thank you
and
for
get
catching
some-
that.
And then on
Oh,
page
maybe. Okay.
30, this is like at the end. I just had a couple of
Yep.
questions. Sorry, I should have done this
Oh, no, that's
earlier
cool.
when you just finished giving a,
And that should
30?
make it full screen,
or maybe it's, I'm like, okay, it's 30, but like 24 on the,
Yep.
okay.
Thank you.
So number 14, when funding becomes available, consideration should be given to the next steps for the master plan, which could include design briefs, automation, sending water and sewage west to Stillwater Creek. Does that refer to the highway? Is that, because I think that's a goal that's always sort of been
Yeah,
on that, right?
yes.
And so that's the highway.
Yes. I
Okay.
believe so.
So that's one of those
Yeah, kind of.
pipe dream
Yes.
things, okay, that we just keep in there. The other one was on number 16. When funds permit, the under drains and filter media should be replaced and consideration could be given to adding gates at the weir from the tube settlers. I don't know what any of that means, but I'm just wondering like, is that something that we
Yeah.
would be looking at doing in the near future? Or is that something else that's like super expensive that we're kind of, Far
I'm
future.
pretty certain that the filter media is an expensive one,
Okay.
just because there's kind of a software issue with, it's a very old software that we have there.
Mhm,
And updating it is extremely expensive, and then there is some copyright issues between the old software and the new one that we would go to,
okay,
not kind of working together essentially, so, yeah, it seems like they've tried to do it a few times,
Mhm.
and we kind of keep getting stuck with this NDA that we had signed with the one software.
okay. And that, when does the NDA, like, is there an expiration date for it at all, or is it? just
Off the
not on there?
top of my head, I don't know, but I think just as long as we're utilizing that software,
Okay.
then we're kind of bound to it.
Okay, I was just wondering, because it was kind of,
Mhm.
didn't understand what that was, but it just,
Yeah.
it just said when funds permit, so I wasn't sure. Okay, and that was it, that's all I had. Okay, so museum building, curbside collection, we did that, drinking water. Any more questions on the operational plan revision 12? And then I think we have,
Yeah, so the operation.
okay. So is this something that has a, is this something that I just sign afterwards? or
Yes,
is
we
it-
can sign that afterwards, yeah.
Okay. All right, so next we have 5C annual RFPs and RFQs.
Yeah, so the annual RFPs and RFQs were posted to the Township of Nipigon website on March 7th, 2025, and distributed to respective contractors. The closing date for all RFPs and RFQs is March 28th, 2025 at 12 p.m.
Any questions on that? 5D RFP 2025-09-3, 4-ton to 1-ton plow truck.
Yeah, so the requirement for a 3/4 ton to 1-ton plow truck has been identified to ensure winter maintenance standards are maintained. A heavy-duty truck is needed to support the additional weight of the plow and sander while also still performing plowing operations with ease. Our foreman's truck, the 2013 Ford F-150, is currently inoperable and requires replacement. So in consultation with the Finance Committee, recommendation from staff would be to purchase a new 3/4 to 1-ton plow truck capable of plowing and holding a rear sander unit. It's also recommended to authorize staff to procure a 3/4 to 1-ton truck vehicle for up to $80,000 based on proposals, quotes received. As per our procurement purchasing bylaw, the township would subsequently surplus the current foreman's truck and then in the fall surplus the 2011 Ford Ranger. All proceeds from these vehicles would be applied to the purchase of a new plow.
Any questions on that one?
What year is that, the truck we have?
2011.
2013.
Oh, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought this was
The
the,
water truck is 20.
oh, okay, sorry.
Yeah, it's, been probably beat up pretty good in 10 years.
Yeah, and that's essentially that's our kind of backup sander for our big plow truck. So if we ever have issues with that, then we don't really have anything to sand with.
And I did ask about possibly getting an electric truck or hybrid or something, but there's just nothing big enough and strong enough that is an electric vehicle to be able to handle the plow and everything, so. Okay. All right, I think that's your report.
Yes.
Yeah. All right, so, before we go into closed session, is there, any other business that anyone would like to bring up? No? And I do not have any. Do you have anything, Lars, that you want to bring up? Taylor, anything else? Okay.
Maybe just one thing
Oh,
about the
yes.
beautification committee.
Oh.
They're going to be like an independent, all they want to do is just help plant and when they're needed. And I think Taylor's got a plan to get Jennifer the numbers. There's quite a few of them that are willing, if they're available, to come and help. So if she
Mhm.
needs a extra hand, she can give them a call. And I think you three were advised on that part and it went well. So no, they're happy. We're happy.
Yeah, they just didn't want to formalize it.
Yeah.
Just be a little
Yeah.
more, easygoing with the
Yeah.
whole thing. Yeah, okay, thank you for that update, Counselor Westhaver. And with that, we will go into closed session at 6:20.
They have a resolution too for some other.
Oh,
It might be on the back. I apologize, it printed,
I did see something on the back of this. Oh, this is the report. Sorry, Glenn, I have to get it. Okay, sorry, so this is the resolution to accept the report. So who would like to move this? Counselor Westhaver? And seconded by Counselor Cartwright. Resolution 2025-079, moved by Counselor Westhaver, seconded by Counselor Cartwright. Be it resolved that council receive Public Works Superintendent Report 2025-03-1801 for information, and that council approves the installation price for light fixtures at the Nipigon Museum in the amount of $2,430 plus HST from Nipigon and Red Rock Heating and Plumbing. That council reports or supports the distribution of letters regarding curbside garbage collection to properties on Hogan Road and First Street from Fifth Street to the highway. The council acknowledges receipt of the 2023 annual summary report for the Nipigon drinking water system. That council of the Township of Nipigon, being the owner, endorsed the operational plan revision 12 as presented. That council approves the purchase of a new 1-ton truck for plowing sanding in the amount of $80,000 plus HST. The purchase of the truck will follow the township's RFQ process. All in favor? Opposed? And carried. Okay, sorry about that. And so now we are going to go into closed session. Is what's the time, guys? At 6:21?
Yes.
See, now you switched it around. All right. It's because it's so late out, maybe we're
Yeah, I
confused
know.
about things,
Till
but we're
8:30
saying it's
now.
later. Resolution 2025-080, who would like to move this going into closed session? Counselor Cartwright and seconded by Counselor Harper. That this council now resolve into closed session at 6:21 PM under section 239 of the Authority of the Municipal Act 2001 to discuss a plan or instruction to be applied to negotiations. All in favor? Opposed? And carried. Thank you, Taylor.